Hello everyone, I'm Gargyoni Krishnan and welcome to Asianet's Focus Interview. And today we have the opportunity to sit down with Mr. John George and Mr. Anish Thomas, the directors and key players behind the success story of iconic investing. Let's start from the beginning. How did this journey actually begin and what's the vision behind it?
I've always been very passionate about property industry and I've done really well with that. The vision was very simple. I have seen too many people getting wrong advice, making too many mistakes and losing a lot of money with buying property. So I knew there had to be a better way than that. So yeah, this company I started in last year around Jan 2024. And I was in constant touch with Anish. We were talking about it. We were discussing about our future plans. And we realized that we both have similar interests, similar focus and similar ideas. So we decided to partner up together and go ahead. And that's how this journey started.
Amazing. Anish, did you ever imagine that it would grow to be this popular?
Yes, Gagi, we did. We are happy that we were able to look after more than 30 clients all over Australia under 1 year. And we have bigger dreams. We want to help a lot of Australians out there. And we are confident that we will influence them by positively influencing their property journeys.
Amazing. What's the key difference between a buyer's agent and a real estate agent?
A buyer's agent represents the buyer on a property transaction, unlike the traditional seller's agent who works for the seller. The seller's agent's job is to get the best possible price while selling the property. So when you go alone, you're going and dealing with a seller's agent who wants to sell the property for the highest price possible. On the other hand, as a buyer's agent, we make sure that we do all the due diligence, we do all the background checks, we negotiate on your behalf and buy the right property at the right price with the right terms and conditions. So every buyer out there needs a buyer's agent on their side.
We've all heard location, location, location. But are there any other key factors that we should look at?
Yes, location is an important thing, but it's not the only important thing.
Okay.
There are lots of other things that you look at. For example, demand-supply ratio, stock in the market, rental yield, vacancy rate, population, and this list goes on and on. But when we look at the location specifically, we have to make sure that there's at least 10 supporting strong factors for us to consider buying there.
Okay.
And after doing all the research, we can make sure that the property will most likely perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the big goals for many of your clients and for yourselves and investors is early retirement. How does strategic property investment make that dream a reality? And how do you actually get there?
So as I said, Gagi, before, property investment is not just about getting rich quick. It's about you need to be very patient.
Okay.
So you need to know exactly when to buy, what sort of property you need to buy and when to buy. Have a good strategy in place, be consistent and follow the plan. The strategy can change because as the market changes and the dynamic shift, we change our strategy as well. So there's a time for everything. There could be time to buy the property and there could be time to sell the property and recycle your equity.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What are the goals and milestones that you're looking for the business in the next few years?
Gagi, you're planning to do a lot of things. One of them is using the advancement of technology for the benefit of our clients. We can use AI-powered property matching, automation, behavioral profiling, virtual inspections, a lot of things like that.
But what about if we look strategically? What about the property market? Where do you see that evolve?
So if you look back last 30 years, generally property grows 5 to 7% in Australia. It doesn't mean that it's gonna do exactly the same going forward. But every property market goes through a cycle. So if you look back 10 years ago, Brisbane was very flat and last 5 years Brisbane had done really well. But if now Melbourne is on the bottom of the cycle and next year maybe Melbourne will have a boom period. So market goes through a cycle. There could be like a really good time, it could go from 10% to anywhere up to 100%, and then it could flatten out for 5 years, maybe even 10 years. You never know. So you need to understand when to buy the property. To timing the market is equally important as time in the market. So that's why you need a real expert on your side. You need a buyer's agent to help you, guide you, and buy the property in the right location at the right time for the right price, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, one thing to add here, buying a property can be one of the costly investments that you make in your lifetime, one of the most expensive things. And if you want to have an expert by your side, why take the stress, and let us take the stress for you.
Thank you to John, Anish from Iconic Investing for sharing their journey and their insights. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Gargyoni Krishnan, and until next time, take care and happy investing.